thank the
This
circle.
is Trail Talk 25 with Jam.
And Jubes.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Shabam. Ooh, I switched it up.
I did not. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
We are back. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got live viewers as well as those of you on YouTube. And also, this is a podcast as well. So you can always download this on iTunes and listen on your run. That's because why wouldn't you? It's a great way to do it.
Yeah, listen on your run, listen on your commute to work. Take us along with you. Just have a conversation. We might not talk back, but, it's fine. I'll listen.
So you already signed up for another ultra.
I did.
Up. Tell us about that.
Oh, my gosh. So I went ahead and signed up for 9 trails. It's not this weekend, but it's next weekend. 35 miles in the mountains of Santa Barbara. And it has 11,000 feet of climb.
That's a lot.
That's double what I did in OP. I did 36 miles and 7,000 feet of climb. So we're just going to jump up a little bit. I'm very excited about it. We don't know.
And you're already eyeballing a 50-miler as well.
Yep.
You were telling me about that.
Yep. So there's a couple of them. There's one in Kansas. I would go back to my home state and run in Manhattan, Kansas. It's called the Flint Hills 50. It's pretty much flat, rolling.
That's coming up as well. You're not waiting.
Oh, no, I'm not
waiting. You're
waiting.
not sitting around like, oh, yeah, next year I'll try and redeem it.
Nope, it's next month. That's next month in April. So we've got like a packed month full of events.
4 races
the
one off weekend.
And the one off.
You're going to run your 50.
Yeah, why not?
Perfect. Why not?
So why not? I've trained. I'm ready. I want the distance. I'm doing it.
So we've got Mesquite Canyon coming up this weekend,
Yeah.
and there's a heat advisory in effect.
Yep.
We're putting a heat advisory into effect.
We're putting the heat advisory is in effect,
Okay.
and then we're like amped up on top of that. We're doing it.
Yeah, so it's going to be 90 to 95 degrees on Saturday.
And that's hot, dude.
And yeah, it's going to be really hot, especially because it just started getting warm.
Yeah, especially for the beginning, end of March? Okay, so middle of March, that's excessive
It's
for this time of year.
pretty warm. I mean, usually we'll see the mid-80s, but
Yeah.
mid-90s is brutal. And we've had some pretty nice weather here in Phoenix over the winter. A lot of rain.
Yep.
Hasn't been that hot. And what always happens is the first big heat wave of the year really takes it out of you. And so a lot of, especially like runners coming in from out of state, like really heed our advice, please.
Prepare, please.
So the things that we're doing on our end, we're moving the start times up 30 minutes to an hour depending on what race you're at, so you get a little bit of extra mileage done before the heat wave hits.
In the cool morning hours.
We are also recommending... Do you have the exact recommendations? Because I have like what I think we should recommend, but what is our official stance? Did we already put that out there?
So as far as we do have water requirements on course, every single runner, if you are running, especially the long distance 50 mile, 50K, 30K, we're requiring you to carry at least 2 liters, I believe, of water. Like that's 2 to 3 like handhelds or a hydration pack. And then you are required to fill those at every aid station to make sure that you have water on course at all times on your person. So do not just rely on the aid stations alone, because this is all very exposed. The whole course is exposed, little to no shade, and that sun is going to beat down. It's going to get...
Yeah. I highly recommend, 8K runners, 1 bottle.
Yep.
30K or half marathon runners, 2 bottles. 30K and above, 3 bottles, and fill them up. The only one that we would recommend taking just enough you'd need would be Mesquite Canyon Aid Station for the half marathoners and the 30K runners, because 1.8 miles below that aid station, you're hitting Waddell, which can have an unlimited supply, whereas Mesquite, we literally hiked the water up there 1.8 miles every gallon, so it's very precious. But we are also hiking additional water up there this Friday, so there's going to be plenty of water up there. We just ask, if you are coming around in that half marathon, don't fill up your whole 100-gallon or 100 ounce pack.
Yeah.
Just take what you need to get down to Waddell. Then you can, take a shower.
Unlimited, yeah. There's
a shower down at Waddell for all I care.
And ice down there, correct,
there'll
too.
be ice as well.
No
ice at Mesquite. It's a backcountry aid station, and that's the reality. The one saving grace of this race is that you climb up into the mountains. You're about 1,800 to 2,000 feet higher than the start-finish line for the 50K, 50-mile, 30K runners, which it will be a lot cooler up there. Yeah. And it's usually pretty breezy. So, but let's talk and touch base a little bit more on training for the heat. And I know our viewers in other parts of the country, this isn't quite applicable yet. And some of you maybe you never run in the heat. I don't know. But I know for myself and just humans in general, it takes usually about 2 weeks of training in the heat to acclimate. Mm-hmm. And your body will actually adapt to running in the heat, but you have to get out there in it. And that's not a fun process. While you're doing this, I recommend always carrying more water than you need, and not just water to drink. Yep. Also carry water to put on your body. Yep. And so I just did a 6-hour run this morning. It was one of my Barkley training runs, and it was 20 miles, tons of climbing. Started at 6 a.m. but finished past noon, and it was really, really hard. Yeah. Like,
is it already hot right now? Like
it was hot at 6 a.m. to me. Like exerting myself going up, I was sweating already, and so fortunately I was doing kind of repeats on a mountain. So every time I went down, I was able to hit a water faucet or a drinking fountain. So I had just carried 2 bottles with me. So every single lap down, I'd fill my bottles, I would drink, and then like going up, I would kind of squirt water on the back of my neck, take my hat off and put it on my hair. It would kind of like drip down, and it felt really good. And then when I was at the bottom, I would additionally put more. Anything I had left in my bottles, I would just dump on my head. Mm-hmm. At one point, I took my shirt off and soaked it and like swung it in a circle because it actually cools it. It's a weird phenomenon. Like you take a towel and you can, I think it's just the air flowing over it. It actually will chill it. And I put it back on, and it felt really nice.
Awesome.
And I also took a couple breaks in the shade too, and that kind of helped to take the edge off when I was down at the bottom near the park and the Ramadas. So
take advantage when you have access to water.
But I've been trying to get out there every day in the heat. Yeah. So like this weekend, I did some runs in the heat, and that's really the best way to do it. When it starts warming up, it's best to just get out there and embrace it, because for here, us living in Phoenix, I mean, soon enough, it's going to be triple digits. Yeah. And setting yourself up for not being ready for that is a poor choice. So, and when it is over 100 degrees, I almost always carry like 4 bottles of water with me, especially if I'm going any distance, because you just don't want to run out of water out there. It's not fun. I've done it before, and it's not a good time. Let's see other advice for this weekend, or just in heat races in general. Mm-hmm. Having a bandana or something that you can fill with ice and like put it around your neck is a really great idea.
I did that at OP.
I know you can actually, if you have any sewing skills, you can fold a bandana in half like a triangle, sew the bottom and cut a hole in the top, and just put ice in there, or bags of ice, and it'll help you. Or just put it right in your pack too. I've done that before. Like the back, a lot of packs will have a back part, and you can just put ice right down there, or even in the front pockets, or right in your shirt.
Or in your shirt. I did that at OP as well.
Yep, there's all kinds of things you can do, but
as far as like covering your skin too, like do you use that like hat bandana to like kind of cover your ears, your neck?
My hair mostly covers my neck. Yeah. But yeah, you could definitely do that. I always wear a hat, so I know I get some shade protection from that. Yeah. Which helps, I think. And
sunscreen, right?
I should.
Do you not wear sunscreen out there?
I don't. I should. I should. Well, and I really know that I need to do that, because I've already burned my shoulders once this year and got some peeling. So
that's not good.
Can't be doing that.
We actually had a question last from YouTube from last week's episode, and this guy actually wants to know about sunscreen and using it like when dealing with running in the sun. So Fuller 1074 asks, how do you guys deal with the sun when you're running ultras? I always end up sunburnt to the nth degree regardless of how much sun lotion I use. So depending on like the SPF, or is it...
Probably need to reapply.
Reapply?
I think so. You definitely need to reapply. You can't just put it on like at 4 a.m. and then start the race at 6.
Right.
And then expect it to last all day.
Yeah.
Also, I think, too, just like we can acclimate to the heat, like, going out in short bursts when the sun comes out and kind of working on your tan. Like, that does help. It does make you less prone to burning once you kind of like get that.
But it's not
tan.
A substitute for protecting your skin.
Not. And I would say I'm definitely not a doctor on that subject. Okay. So
wear sunscreen.
And I naturally have darker skin, so I'm a little bit better off. Maybe I can get away with it a little bit more.
I have very fair skin. I
still burn. So but most people, like, if you have fair skin, wear sunscreen.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely get burnt. And I always wear a hat. I use something to always shade my face. And then I always get burnt on my shoulders and my back and the neck because my hair is usually up or in pigtails or something. So my neck always gets burnt. So I sometimes will wear a buff or something just to kind of cover that area as well, so it's not so sensitive.
Let us know if you guys have questions regarding heat, acclimation, advice on what to do if you are not from an area with heat. And I mean, it's kind of the same stuff I say over and over, but it's like, obviously carry enough water and drink it, show up hydrated, put water on your body. And use ice when you need it too. Yep. Like, I didn't use any ice today. I didn't have any, but I was still okay because I was utilizing water to my advantage. I did the thing with my shirt, like swinging it around, something that can hold. Sometimes it's good to wear a shirt because I like going shirtless a lot, but actually having a shirt on, it was able to absorb the water and hold it longer than if I just splashed some on my skin. So some things to think about. Good.
And if you guys have tips too, please let us know.
What works for you.
We'll share them while we're live as well. What else we got going on?
I don't know.
So many things. Do you want to play a game?
Sure.
Okay. So this week's edition of TrailTube, or are we gonna name it JubeTube? Not really sure. We haven't really decided.
Do it.
And sure, we're gonna call it JubeTube. You guys can spell it however you like. So this is our weekly game, and we got this from Enzo and his family. They came up with this blind test, like taste test.
Okay.
All right.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
I'll feed you something.
Sure, why not? Oh my gosh.
Okay. Gosh. Number 1.
All right. That's spicy. Is that cinnamon? Oh my god.
Ding, ding, ding. Nice.
It's really... You're not supposed to eat raw cinnamon.
The cinnamon challenge, except there was only a little bit.
Oh. Okay. That's probably better.
You want some...
Yeah.
Yeah, that might cause an explosion with the
liqueur.
Fizzy water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got my eyes closed.
You've got your eyes closed.
Oh. Sounds powdery.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. This is super fun. And, okay, you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
What the heck? Wait.
Go on.
Is that oregano?
It is oregano. All I saw was like I pulled out like a bag of green stuff.
That's not...
And I'm going, all right.
It's better on a pizza or on spaghetti.
Yeah.
Not like by itself.
When you eat these things by themselves, they're not as appealing.
Are you ready for your next one?
Sure, why not?
Close eyes.
Close. No picking. I'm a little worried now.
Oh, man.
Now that I've kind of got an idea of what this game is. All right.
All right, ready?
Uh-huh. Now. Oh, God. That's an apple.
Cinnamon apple. That's a great combo,
We
right?
couldn't just put those things together. We can just dip the apple in there. Okay, okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. Eyes are closed.
Oh my gosh. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. More spices.
Are you though?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, now maybe not. Your commentary.
I'm so sorry. Ready? Open and close.
What?
I know.
Oh.
I know. That was a lot. I'm sorry.
Is that onion?
No. But close.
Garlic.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's gnarly.
Raw garlic.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh.
Even smell. Dude.
Garlic is the best when it's cooked.
Yeah, when it's roasted, it's awesome. All right.
Okay, close your eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Laura. Can I have another apple? Because that was delicious.
I got something crunchy here for you. Ready?
No. Oh, no. That's an onion. Do I get points if I say it's like a red onion? Is it a red onion? Oh.
It didn't look red to me. It is a red onion. It was completely white.
Oh,
but
God.
It might be a red onion.
Well, my breath is going to
more,
smell
huh?
fantastic today. Mmm.
Well, I've got the garlic, the raw garlic, so.
So between us, oh man.
I don't know what's worth, garlic or
Woo.
onions. Tell us.
Come
Tell
and
us
have
in
a
the comments.
conversation real close. And, yeah. We'll do bonus round. Ready?
Tomato?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
I know, right? Like, those
So
are
am I
like...
doing one more?
You're going to do one more bonus
bring it.
round. We've pretty much got, like pretty on point palettes at this point. Right? Okay. You know. Okay. Bonus round. I'm so sorry.
What?
I know.
What the heck?
That's almost mean.
Chili powder.
Oh.
I didn't guess it. I looked at it. That was not too bad. I've done
bad?
way hotter stuff in my life. Oh, you got to do it too.
I mean,
I've done way hotter stuff in my life.
well, that's not
on camera.
good. I wouldn't have guessed that though.
I didn't guess it either. I thought maybe like a broth or something. Veggie broth.
I mean, this game could get weird, right? So we might bring this back. I don't know.
Round two.
Round two.
At some point. Not right now. But
I'll put things together.
Yeah, you seem very excited about these things.
yeah, let's get a little more exotic with it.
Okay, Enzo. Challenge is accepted.
Cool. Let's
Yeah.
take some questions and then yeah, let's do it. Here,
I pulled a couple from YouTube from last time. Right? Hey,
Ben Nichols, Jamil, where is your favorite place to hike with tag? Also, make a race in Sedona. That one was from Wendy. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Cool. My favorite place to hike with tag, I just did Devastator Trail with him, and that was really fun. But pretty much anywhere. Yeah.
does he like
I would
to kind of
hike-
go on all the trails, like
Oh yeah.
wherever you
He
go?
loves it. He loves hiking.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's great.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then they're just telling me to make a race in Sedona. There was no question. It was like a demand.
just do it.
Demanding it.
Do it.
Thank
Okay.
you, guys. We will. Thank you for adjusting the times. The silent assassin. That's Shane.
That's Shane.
You are welcome. I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great
also,
idea.
because
It's
I'm
just-
running the 50K, and
Yeah.
I'm thankful. The extra
It's that little
45
extra time.
minutes.
Yeah.
Great.
And I'm not running, but I'm going to be.
Mr. Pretzel Runner. That is a cool name. I wish I had some soft pretzels right now.
Mr. Pretzel
Sounds
Runner.
really
so does
good.
this mean like that you're like a
The Facebook Live feed. What was
Hello.
that?
I was curious about the name. I want to know, like, do you eat the pretzels as you run?
You have to follow him on Instagram.
I will.
The Facebook live feed is about 2 seconds behind the Instagram one. Trippy.
Oh.
Wow, so he's watching both.
So, like, if I do this, you saw it 2 seconds ago. Kind of? Maybe?
That's weird, because Facebook owns Instagram, so what's going on?
I don't know.
Maybe there's a...
We should dig deeper.
Maybe they censor Facebook. There's 2-second delay.
Ah.
I have no idea. JubeTube! Mr. Pretzel Runner is trying to give you... Oh, they're all trying to spell JubeTube right here, right now.
I did. I mean, I asked you guys could spell it however you want. I'm digging it. It's fun. It's good.
Run Steeps. Good evening from the Rhonda Valleys. Where is that? Where's the Rhonda Valleys? It's evening, so because it's only afternoon here, so it's got to be... Is this in Europe somewhere, or... I don't know. Let us know, Run Steeps.
Should we Google it? Should we fact check?
What is the white screen in front of Jubes? Oh.
In front of me?
Maybe from Instagram they saw the Facebook. It's actually just it's an iPad that's in a square register tablet stand. So it's basically just you were like seeing the backside of Facebook Live right there. Ooh. So that is trippy. There's a lot of trippiness going on. My feet's hurt. Jam, how's your wonky finger?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's still swollen.
Still a little wonky.
But it's basically normally functioning for the most part. So I'm pretty happy. Karsten, any tips for running in a high humidity heat? Do you have any of those? I'm a desert rat, born and raised, so we don't get much humidity here, but I have run in the Virginia summer in August, like late August, and it is gnarly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it?
I don't know if I have any tips, but I would
I
say, again, replenishing your fluids, I think, is essential. Here in the desert, it's deceiving because we sweat, but it like goes away instantly.
Yeah, it dries.
It dries out. So you don't realize how much water you're losing. Over there, I mean, you're not only sweating, but it's also just...
It's
like
just kind of kicked
on your body.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
If you guys have tips on running in high humidity heat, please let us know. But I would imagine the same would be true. Acclimating your body to it would be important and key. You know, it might adapt a little differently than running in a dry desert or a dry type of heat versus a humid heat. So I think the most important thing is just getting out there in it and easing into it, not just going for it like, oh yeah, 6 hours today, but going out for an hour or 30 minutes and then stepping up from there.
Slow increments.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the best way to do almost anything, whether that's altitude or heat, is the best way to adapt to it.
Cool.
Same with your training mileage.
Yes.
You could say that as well.
Don't go all
or wearing zero-drop shoes. But don't go barefoot unless you're barefoot Jake.
Unless you're barefoot Jake.
Run along, he asks, another vert week before taper for Barkley? Yes. Last week was Barkley boot camp. This is Barkley Hell Week for me. I'm calling it that. And then I guess taper, but I don't really want a long taper for this build-up because I had 4 weeks where I ran 15 miles a week. Mm-hmm. And then last week I jumped up to 80 miles. So I'm kind of like just now building up. Whew. And I want to do a monster week this week with a couple really big days. Today was 10,000 feet of climbing. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do another one of those. I'm also going to run the 50K this weekend. So I'm kind of packing it in, but I think like I'm not tired, right? Like my body's not tired physically. You know, it feels pretty fresh because I haven't run a lot. I just need to get some top end fitness and then, yeah, I will back it down next week though. No, I'll probably only do 15,000 feet of climb and then, or less. is that
I think that's awesome. That's your back down. Yeah,
Jared Dibus, what are your guys' feelings on training with hypoxic tents? Sleeping in hypoxic tents.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah, so these are altitude tents. So they actually remove oxygen from the air. So they reduce the oxygen levels. Yeah. Which simulates
high altitude.
Up at altitude.
Yeah.
I will say I don't believe there's any substitute for real altitude. Mm-hmm. But if you are training for a race at high altitude, I think it can help. I've never trained in one. I've slept in one. One thing you have to be aware of is that you potentially won't get as good of sleep because it's like sucking all the oxygen out.
Yeah.
It depends how high you set it. But I know that like Hal Kerner, the year he won Hard Rock, this is anecdotal evidence, but he slept in the tent for a few months and then also was still sleeping in the tent when he went up to Ouray, Colorado at 7,000 feet.
Wait,
but you can crank those things up.
He was at elevation, altitude.
But he was at 7,000.
Yeah.
But the average elevation of a Hard Rock is 11,000. So even for me, when I go sleep and train for Hard Rock up in Colorado in Silverton's at 9,000 feet. But again, the race's average is 11.
Yeah.
So even sleeping at 9, you're sleeping at the low end of the course.
Yeah.
And so when you get up to 12 and 13, you're not going to feel as good. But the best thing to do is I like to sleep at 11 if I can.
Okay.
Like drive my car up to 11,000 and sleep there. If I had an altitude 10, I guess I would crank it up I would probably crank it up as high as it would go, but may not be recommended. But yeah, I think I know that Dylan Bowman, I know that he works for Hypoxico, so he might be able to answer some questions for you. I don't know if it's completely unbiased since he's selling the units.
Yeah.
But he'd probably be able to hit you up with some more information. Do you have any over there?
Yeah, I do. Okay. So, it says, hello, Jubbly and Jamil. Jubbly? That's a new one. Jubes! The Flint Hills, where the wind has teeth. For real. The dust is at 50 miles an hour. Okay. Well, did not know that. That was from Rolo. But, you know, it's whatever. I'm fine. Maybe it'll be at my back and just kind of push me the whole way. Craig Douglas says melanoma ain't good. Get sunblock on, guys. It's just good tips. Good tips and things.
What are all those hearts?
I know. That's so pretty. Jamil, you are live at Solomon, USA right now. Those from Mike Ambrose.
Oh, nice. What's up, Solomon? Thank you guys they're going to be sending me some gear for Barkley, which I'm desperate for.
Ooh.
I'm very thankful for.
Yay.
Every little bit will help.
And then Claudia Cross says, thank you for changing the race times this weekend. Hard. Mind the heat. I need tips running for a marathon in the rain. Got one on Sunday, and it's rain.
Pack layers, especially if it's going to be cold, because that's the worst thing is being rained on, and then it's easy to get hypothermia, especially if something goes wrong in your race and you can no longer run. Usually you're fine if you can continue to generate body heat, but if you have to slow to a walk for some reason, like a nutrition issue or, say, an injury, you can get cold quick in the rain.
So layers.
Pack gloves and jacket and all that stuff. Be prepared.
Okay.
So Run Steeps over here says Rhondda Valley is in South Wales of the UK. Check out my Instagram for a snippet of what I get to run around in. Cool. We'll check it out.
Actually, I think I follow you, Run Steeps.
My feet's hurt. Jubilee, how's your running recovery going since your race, and what's Nine Trails all about?
So recovery's really well. I'm continuing to run, and I've actually inserted a lot of climb into my training this last week. So I'm just trying to climb more because I think that's the biggest thing that I'm going to be facing at Nine Trails. Nine Trails started, I think, in the 1990s. Really kind of an awesome course in Santa Barbara. It's right along the coast. It takes you up through some gnarly trails that I've heard. Very technical, but it's all the elevation. If you guys can look at the elevation profile of this thing, it's so steep and super gnarly and just crunched in 11,000 feet of gain over 35 miles. So it'll be tough, but I'm actually looking forward to it. So, I mean, if anything, it's a long hike in the woods.
We have a follow-up from My Feet's Hurt. Jam, what's your crew situation at Barkley?
Ooh, crew.
So I decided when I ultimately decided to do Barkley this year that I was going to remove all my expectations and go out there with no pressure. Mm-hmm. So I'm not bringing a crew. So it's just going to be me out there doing my thing. But the nice thing about Barkley is there's so many other people around that if I do need help, there won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Like, there will be people that'll jump in. The other thing about crewing there is it's pretty brutal because you see your runner every 9 to 12 hours. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of, you help them for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then you send them off, and you don't see or hear from them.
For hours.
And you don't know when they're going to come in
Yeah.
exactly. So, it's kind of a lot to put someone through.
Do you have like drop bags, things like that out on anywhere? Or is everything self-supported, like on your back, everything is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have everything you need on your pack with you for a 12-hour loop. But last year, my fourth loop, or 2 years ago, my fourth loop took me 22 hours. So
Yeah.
I left camp. 22 hours later, I came back in. So I only had what I left with.
Yeah.
And I slept out in the woods that night, and I had to eat food to get around and survive for 22 hours. So everything I needed, I had with me, lights and jackets and everything. So it's for real. It's the real thing, the real deal.
That's the real deal. Nice.
Rainy Run. This is from Run Steeps. And this is coming from someone who lives in Wales, so I think they're very qualified.
No.
Layers, waterproof. They say waterproofs, spare dry socks, and man up. Nice.
Nice.
Cool. That's all I got over here. Anything else over there?
Mike Ambrose says it's in the mail. Your Solomon goodie things.
Yes.
Yay. Elizabeth McKay says, hi, Jubilee. In big letters. This is all I have. But then I pulled a couple from YouTube and Twitter and things from last week.
So we got a few bonus questions.
A couple of bonus questions. Mitchell MC. He actually asked us a couple weeks ago. He says, I have a question for the next episode. I might not be able to make it for the live, so I'm just going to ask it. Jam and Jubes, I think you guys pretty much have the coolest jobs ever. My question, as someone who is 18 right now and isn't too invested in any sort of field of work, is what sort of qualifications are desired for working for a company like Aravaipa? And to that point, is there any sort of technical degree that would be particularly helpful for an employee in that company, such as yours? Curious.
Number one, I think you just got to be passionate about, I guess, what we do. Like, that seems to be, that's the driving force, is we're all really passionate about what we all do. And especially, there's a lot of different facets of what the business does. So that's number one. Also, the willingness to work hard. Like, we work long hours and late into the night, or weird 3 a.m. holding tent down hours. Yeah. So, or hiking, 50 gallons. It's just weird. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that happens. Yeah. And that's the exciting part, I think. When I started race directing and doing these things, I mean, I went to school for business, for accounting and economics, but, I now make video edits and do graphic design and all kinds of things, in manual labor, and I don't know. Yeah, submit that's the thing. Permits and talk to insurance companies. Like, there's a big slew of things that we all do. Yeah. As far as specialized degrees go, I keep jumping over you here.
No, you're good.
Like, specialized degrees, I would say it depends kind of on the role or what you want to do, I think, ultimately. And sometimes degrees help, sometimes not. For instance, like our graphic designer that we just hired, has graphic design degrees and experience, and that is perfect for what we need right now and for what she does. And it's evident that all of, she's also talented, but all of that was very helpful in the decision to hire her for the company. Yeah. It was a plus on all those accounts. But then, alternatively, I'll talk about Enzo. Enzo dropped out of high school. Is that correct? I don't want to say everything about you, but he dropped out of high school. He's 16 and he's working for us doing video editing right now because he's passionate about it and because he loves doing it. And that also works, So it's just, there's kind of a lot of different ways, but I'll let you talk now because I was hogging it.
No, I think that's just to your point. Like, I think every single one of us who works here, we have, kind of different things that we do, and it's a variety of things that we do. Like, my official title is office manager, but as an office manager, there are no parameters around the capabilities or the things that they've asked me to do here at Aravaipa. So, just being at the events or doing permitting or doing hauling water on weekends, or you just have to be a passionate person and really love the sport and love doing this for runners, and just love to be outside. And so you find your passion and you just go chase after it, because that's what we do here for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't have a degree
question.
in anything like that I'm doing at the moment. I have a degree in like arts and things. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Samantha says, have you two heard about a couple of jaguars seen roaming around Arizona?
I've heard of it.
Have you heard of this?
Southern Arizona, yeah.
Yeah.
They're spotting more and more of them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I guess they
it.
are like, they're coming up from Mexico, correct? And I guess they used to be native to like New Mexico, Arizona.
It's awesome.
And now they are like repopulating this, like the southern borders of Arizona. It's kind of cool. Or not, depending on whether you want to meet a jaguar in the desert. Oh God. And then Tommy Danger Boy one says, Jubes, do you feel like the sweeps put a little pressure on you at OP? Because I was the last person on that course, and then I ran into the sweeps, and I was at mile 33 when they caught me, and honestly, I was really, really kind of thankful to have somebody to talk to. At that point, I was really, really low, so just to have somebody come up and say, hey, looking good, pushing it on, like, good job, just kind of boosted my spirit a little bit. But at the same time, it also made me very paranoid about my time. So I think it did put a little pressure on me to, like, just keep pushing and try to keep going to the next aid station. But at the same time, it was also a relief to have someone else out there with me. So, yeah, that's all the questions I have.
That's it?
That's it.
Cool.
Do we have more on that
Hola,
side?
amigos. Quinn Hones from Trail Run Brazil. Welcome to the show.
Oh, well, hello.
Thanks for tuning in.
Dun, 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 dun.
If you just joined, you can catch the whole thing on YouTube later.
Elizabeth McKay, here we go. She's got a couple questions. She says, I don't know what you guys are doing since my internet was wonky to start with, but y'all didn't put a title on your live segment before we stared. This is Trail Talk. We do this every single week. She was at Across the Years and met me there. And then she was wondering, who did we hire as far as our graphic designer?
Her name is Sofia Vasquez, and she just started this week. So
yeah,
we'll hopefully, I think we might try and bring her on the
her
show
on?
here in the next couple weeks. She's kind of like getting into the flow of everything right now.
We threw her right into it.
There's a backlog of projects, so she's like getting after it right now.
Yeah.
But that'd be fun.
Extremely talented though, really very, very cool artist.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in this week, and we will see you next week. And if that Facebook Live pops up, you know what it is.
What?
It's Trail Talk Live.
Oh, it's Trail Talk Live. I'm having a day. Oh!
Another last one, bonus?
Maybe. It's funny when y'all read Facebook comments in real time because it looks like Jubes or Jamil is staring into our souls.
We're looking at you.
Oh my gosh.
Over here.
Oh gosh.
Oh wow! Someone from Italy just checked in. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Jams. I've got one more question. Actually.
Oh, one more. Okay.
Okay.
And then we got to end this thing.
Okay.
Because we got to move on.
Seriously though. So there was a question posed last week about you used to be an Eagle Scout, correct?
Mm-hmm. I think once an eagle, always an eagle.
Okay, excuse me. I don't know these things.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
In that experience, how does that kind of translate or turn over to your ultra running? Like, how?
Oh my God. I mean, scouting. This whole scouting program is like, it's a big part of who I am.
Yeah.
My I could go on for days about it, but there's so many experiences I had growing up in Arizona and being part of the scouting program. And we had an active troop and an active group, because that's really important. I don't know if it's as much like that these days. I think there probably are some troops that are really active, but some maybe that aren't as much. But we were out, every month doing a camping or backpacking trip somewhere in Arizona. Every single April, we would hike Havasu Falls. I went to summer camps all over the country. And you learn a lot of skills. So I learned orienteering and wilderness survival and first aid and kind of like all the things that are merit badges, but they're kind of like, there's stuff you don't learn in school, but they're really good if you want to be someone who goes out into the outdoors. They're great skills to have developed that young. So a lot of that developed and eventually translated into my love for trail and ultra running, because we would get really competitive, or at least I would. Once I got a little bit older into Boy Scouts, seemed like more of a competition when we went on hikes than just like go and enjoy it. We enjoy it too, but I would try and see how light I could make my pack, and we would start to run, like almost race each other wearing backpacks, like through the mountains. So
it it fed right into
it really did.
Your
and
love
then
for
as soon as I realized, I don't have to wear this pack anymore. I can just go run 25 miles and I can be done in a few hours versus a couple days. Hey, this is great.
That's awesome.
Or take a 100-mile week-long backpacking trip. I can do it in a whole day, just one day.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, and I love that. And then furthermore, too, just I think everything with Aravaipa on the work level, too, it just kind of helped teach a work ethic and working with people, and again, a skill set that has become to be pretty valuable. I mean, shoot, we were hauling 50-pound packs of water this weekend, and that's stuff we used to do out in the white tanks as a kid. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, great question. Thanks for asking. Cool. I think that's all the time we have today. But it's all. Yeah. I don't want to stop. But
I know.
But we gotta move. We gotta move on.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back next week for sure.
Bye.